Welcome back, everybody. Well, she's a mother and a hard-working woman at that, but at the same time, she finds time to train so she can summit. In the next few days, Saray Khumalo goes to summit in Antarctica, and that will make her the first African woman and the 68th person in the world to complete the Explorer Grand Slam. Well, she's right here in studio with us this morning to tell us more about it. Khumalo, very good morning to you and a warm welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Geez, man, you are about to, and I can safely say that you are about to become the first woman to complete the Explorer Grand Slam. Now, briefly, this Explorer Grand Slam is just an adventure goal of, I understand, of reaching the North Pole and the South Pole, and after summiting 7 summits, including Denali, Kilimanjaro, and Mount Everest. Would you, at this point, say that summiting Mount Everest has gave you the competitive edge to conquer all the other summits?
I believe so. I believe it has. It's at least cleared up the way for me to do a bit more. It's given me the opportunity to get the sponsorship that I have, and also the confidence, I suppose, that the others that are much lower but equally respectful of the challenge I should be, because no mountain should be underestimated.
Okay.
Yeah.
In speaking of being underestimated, and I do understand that Antarctica is slightly below Mount Everest, but it's a bit more technical, isn't it?
It's a bit more technical. It's slightly below Kilimanjaro, actually. It's about 4,982, but it's all iced up. It's a lot more colder, and it's a lot more technical. But I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, so what goes into preparation or preparing for a summit of this magnitude?
A lot of training. I train literally almost every day, maybe one off day, but even then you do a lot more stretching. But with it's South Pole, there's a little bit more pulling of tires, because there'll be a sledge that will be pulled up instead of carrying a bag like you normally do in a hike. Okay. So that's been different, and that's going to be new for me. And it's going to be a lot more colder, so no, chance to actually be in the warmth at any point. But more importantly is to just be aware of the winds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's quite windy out there.
Absolutely windy, yeah.
Okay. So, Khumalo, how do you find the time? How do you juggle your job, being a mother, and of course training for summiting?
When something is important to you, you make a plan. Having said that, I've been actually given a sabbatical. So Momentum Multiply sponsored me and given me a sabbatical to be able to complete the challenge, which is exciting and a blessing in a way. Okay. But even then, before, I was making sure that I wake up at 5 o'clock. I train between 5 and maybe 7:30, be ready for work at 8 o'clock. Okay. And if I needed to train in the evening, I would do the same. And some of the training during the weekend, I try and involve my kids, because they are quite big, to make sure that there's a little bit of a balance.
And I'm quite curious to know where you train, because I would imagine the topographical nature or landscape of South African mountains is far less compared to what you'll be going to.
Yes, it is. So I do a lot of training in Machalis. I've also done the Drakensberg, but what is different is at times I've got a hypoxical tent, which allows me to reduce the levels of oxygen to up to about 7,000 meters above sea level. But effectively running, spinning, and strength training, every mountain you train differently, knowing what you're going to be able to encounter. Is it technical? Is it not? Is it just trekking? But being physically fit, combining strength and cardio is important for all the mountains.
And how long does the whole process of training last?
Of training? Wow, I've been training since 2013. I do about 1 hour to 1:30 hours in the morning, and maybe another hour in the evening. Okay. But during the weekends, maybe between 3 to 6 hours of either running, hiking out in the bush and stuff. Yeah. I
mean, for those who harbor aspirations of being a summiteer, we certainly cannot overemphasize the importance of being mentally ready.
Absolutely.
Mentally, not just physically ready, but mentally ready for this huge challenge.
Absolutely. What we've assessed with my friends and some of the people that I've chatted to, 70% is really mental preparation and 30% physical. But the reality is they are interlinked. Once you're physically ready, you get the confidence to be mentally prepared.
Indeed.
But it's definitely at some point when your physique gives in, your mental capability needs to keep you pushing, and one step at a time until the summit and back, remember, because the summit is just the halfway. Yeah.
I mean, you've been an inspiration and you continue to be an inspiration to so many South African women, so many African black women, and just about every African on the continent. So what word of advice would you have for those wishing to follow your path?
Never give up. Be prepared. I think I do this for more than just me summiting and taking that picture. I do this to change the narrative for every African child, for the next generation through education. Okay. That's why I summit with a purpose. I think you need to know your why you're doing it, and yes, you need to work hard. And nobody owes us anything, you know. I owe it to myself to reach my dream, and afterwards everybody will clap and see you. They might look like they're not while you're preparing, but keep at it because it's your dream and nobody owes you anything.
Okay, and when are you leaving, Sarah?
I'm leaving on the 15th of December. White Christmas, blue lights, the whole thing. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Well, Sarah, all the best, eh?
Thank
South
you.
Africa is really, really behind you, and we're certain that you'll definitely conquer that.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Much appreciated. Well, that was Saray Khumalo. She's on a mission to be the first African woman and the 68th person in the world to complete the Explorer Grand Slam, which takes place in Antarctica. What are your thoughts and your views? Do share with us via our social media platforms. Our handle is at Morning Live SABC and our Facebook page is Morning Live SABC. We also have a WhatsApp line and the number is 081 732 8421.